Jim, you need to cover that bald head.
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a giant, and he was a cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening, Byron. Hey, just real quick, I've been talking to the producer, and we're going to start docking your pay if you're not on time, if you're not here when you're supposed to be. So we're going to start docking you from now
You know
on.
what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I'm back in the saddle. So I'm on my horse. I don't care what you say. I heard y'all last week.
You can't ride a horse?
Hey, I can ride a horse. I can ride a cow.
You can't ride a horse.
Y'all last week talking all that noise. You and Jackson. I heard y'all on the J&B Talking Shop talking about y'all gonna miss my ugly face and all that good stuff. Well, I tell you what.
Well, you're right.
I had to get the FBI out on y'all. I'll tell you
you're
that.
Right. Honestly, we didn't miss your ugly face, but welcome back.
No, but you guys did a good job. I was happy to, I came and watched the show late. I was in Hawaii, but you guys did a good job. And tell Jackson to keep eating, man. He was eating good on the show.
I'm like, what are you doing, kid? What are you doing?
That was funny. That was good.
My goodness. Bad manners at home. So
he learned that from his dad.
Yeah, he did.
Well, it's good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. We got a action pack full of news today.
Man, it was great, man. It was the last day of free agents and signing.
It's not the last day.
No, it's what's the tag for the day though? NFL. It's the deadline for them to sign. What?
Oh, yeah, the tags, but the deadline is not until what? June 1st, right?
Yeah, June 1st. But yeah, a lot of teams made some moves.
Yeah, they did.
A lot of transition.
Yeah. The big news was interesting was Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron
Rodgers said he wants to be a Jet, but Green Bay is negotiating with obviously the Jets, and he said they're holding it up. It's not him. He talked.
So the Jets, the Green Bay Packers holding up the deal.
Yeah, because basically, I think they're trying to negotiate what they're going to give. It's hard because they're saying that he wants the same thing that Stafford got when he was traded to, obviously,
to the Rams. Yeah.
And Russell Wilson was traded to Denver.
Right.
But the problem you have is that neither one of those guys was 39 years old.
Absolutely.
So that makes a difference. This is going to be unique. They can't get the same thing. It'd be idiotic. But here's the problem.
But you know what? Now one of those guys been a 4-time MVP.
That's true. But both of them have won only one Super Bowl, which is Aaron Rodgers has only won one Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So here's the problem you run into is that's the problem. And it's going to be different. Plus, Aaron Rodgers' cap hit this year is $50.1 million.
Wow.
So you can't keep him on your roster. If you cut him, the Jets will get him free. If you don't negotiate and make him happy, you keep him on your roster, but you're paying a guy that you're saying you're moving on to Jordan Love. You're paying a backup $50.1 million. Did you hear what I said?
Man, what a market.
Yeah. And then also the Jets, he got on Aaron Rodgers today, lashed out at, obviously, Adam Schefter for putting stuff out there that wasn't true. He said he never said those things about wanting certain players because the Jets did sign out Alan Lazard today.
Yeah, 4 years, $44 million.
Yeah, and he said he did not make that statement or that was a demand. And then it was a young lady named Diana Rossini, and he said that they better lose his number because they're putting. But this is sounded before the show. We were talking about Scheffner saying that Lamar Jackson is possibly going to the 49ers. Scheffner is just making up stuff. He's throwing it against the wall. What it sounds like to me. If it sticks, it sticks. But he doesn't.
Yeah, well, you know, he's supposed to be the insider, and he probably hearing a little tidbit here and tidbit there. But you know, it's bad that they putting that out before things happen. You know, it's not good. Not
now,
good.
if Lamar Jackson did go to the 49ers, that would be a heck of a deal for him. Wow. Man,
I'm going the 49ers. In fact, I was sitting with the 49ers players rep. I was at the table with them the whole time. The backup tight end is named Ross, and number 82. Mm-hmm. He's been there 5 years, and those guys are really focused. They was the most focused group of guys that I've seen. The linebacker is their player rep. But make a long story short, those guys seem like they take care of business. I mean, seem like they 49ers. If you look at the last 5-6 years, you know, they've been stealing their coaches and they've been stepping up to play football. So
yeah. Now the question I ask is right now, Trey Lance would probably be the number one guy because Brock Purdy obviously had the elbow surgery.
Man, that elbow surgery is nothing no more because they got it down to 6 months. They got it down to a science with the baseball players.
Yeah, but he didn't get the surgery until late March. He got it in March, so he's 6 months from there.
Okay. They got it in March?
That. Yeah.
So he got it this month. He got the surgery this month?
Yes.
Okay.
Then you got Sam Darnold, who they signed to a 1-year deal. In my the way I'm looking at it, Sam Darnold is possibly going to be the starter if Trey Lance falters.
Yeah, he signed an $11 million 1-year deal.
Yeah. So
I got all the signs right here. Everybody who signed with the teams, I got a list of them per team.
Yeah. Leighton Vander Esch signed back with the Cowboys. And
he signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah, and they traded for Stephen Gilmore. But
yeah, defensive back from the Colts.
Interesting one.
Defensive back from the Colts.
Yeah. I think they're covering their bases because what happened last year with the wide receiver could happen with Anthony Brown as he comes back from Achilles surgery.
Yeah. They reconstructed Tyron Smith contract.
Yes, they did. And they restructured Dak Prescott's contract. And
Tony Pollard got franchise tag.
Yes. So they did that. And then Zach Martin, they restructured his contract.
Okay. And Donovan Wilson, the safety, signed a 3-year deal for $24 million.
Yes. And then, they have.
What about Zeke? What about Zeke and Elliott?
Zeke basically told me he was going to release him.
So they might come back and sign him for less money then.
You think so?
If he don't want to go nowhere else.
Yeah. I'm sure he's going to test the market first.
Yeah.
Well, that's a possibility. But it depends on who they draft because running backs are unique. You saw a couple. Jamal Williams went to New Orleans today.
Yeah, let me look and see what he got. New Orleans. And see what's going on in New Orleans. Okay, New Orleans. Okay, yeah. Jamal Williams. He signed a 3-year deal for $12 million.
Yeah, and then Miles Sanders goes to Carolina to the Panthers.
Okay, yeah.
And then Philadelphia signs Rashawn Penny from Seattle.
Yeah, I saw that.
So but it's interesting. The market that's not really blowing up is receivers.
Yeah, receivers are not moving that much. Seem like in this part of the seasons.
Yeah,
I know the Giants need some receivers. I know that.
Yeah, and then you got Juju Smith-Schuster who went there. What's up, Jay?
Yeah, Juju signed a 3-year deal with the Patriots.
Yeah.
3 years, $33 million.
Yeah, yeah.
But the Giants they signed Isaiah Hodges.
Yeah.
Number 18. He had a pretty good year.
He had a good year.
They signed him to a 1-year deal, and they signed Sterling Shepard 1-year deal.
Yeah, they brought him, just like you said, they brought him back.
$1.3 million.
They traded for Darren Waller. They gave up their 3rd round pick they got for Kadarius Toney and got Waller.
Yeah.
And Waller said it caught him off guard because he had just got married to the WNBA. She was on the championship, Kelsey Plum. They just got married.
She played with the Las Vegas team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been hurt. He really have been hurt.
Yes, he has.
Hopefully he can get up there and get in that good workout training program that they used to have me on. Keep you healthy.
Hey, but Waller, right now, he's had more 1,000-yard seasons than any other tight end in Giants history.
You know, when I was just thinking about that today, it was on my mind. I said, if you can get a good tight end, if you get the top tier tight end, your chance of going to the Super Bowl is a huge increase for percentages. So if you look at the people that go to the Super Bowl who win in games this day and time in this modern era football, you got to have a great tight end.
I agree, but here's the thing: everybody was talking about Schultz from the Cowboys, and he'll probably sign somewhere. But as of now, he has not signed.
Well, he's not that next tier. I think he's there. I think he's there, but he's not the Kelsey and
there's very few of those.
But still, though
No, I don't think he's there. But and that's another thing. Gesicki's out there. The first tight end that was signed was by Carolina, and that's Hayden Hurst.
Yeah.
And it's interesting too. Another thing that's interesting, RPOs in their offenses, that could be true.
Yeah.
But what else is interesting is the quarterbacks. Look at that. The quarterbacks that are signing now. I mean, Sam Darnold to the 49ers. Andy Dalton, he went to Atlanta.
Yeah, Andy
Bobby
Dalton.
Brisket went to, I want to say, you probably but Jacoby.
Just call out a team. Yeah, I got everything right here on my deal right here. I'm looking at it.
Yeah, but Jacoby Brisket, he left Cleveland and he's moved on. But that's interesting. These quarterbacks. Case Keenum went to the Texans.
Mike White went to the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
He went from the Jets to the Dolphins. He signed a 2-year deal for $16 million.
Yes.
The Dolphins now, I'm telling you, they made some moves.
Yeah, they better make it. They better win this year. They did make some moves. What
you say, win or go home? Because
that's right.
If they don't win with all these players, man, they signed some players.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They signed some. And then interesting, Philadelphia let some players go.
Well, they couldn't keep everybody.
Yeah.
But they did sign Fletcher Cox back for 1 year.
Yes.
And I think they wanted him at the Jets, too. They offered him a little bit more money than he got, but he stayed put with the Eagles.
Yeah. And then the Bills signed Kyle Allen, who used to be with the Texans.
Yeah.
So you got a couple of them that are going, that are moving. Like you said, they are moving around. This is an interesting year.
The Raiders, they signed a lot of players too, free agent. They signed a lot of players.
Yes, the Raiders did.
And Jimmy G is going over there.
Yeah.
3 years,
move, I think.
$67.5 million.
Yeah. I think that's a good move to have.
I think that's a great move.
Jimmy G gonna have to go in there, and I think he will perform. He was with Josh McDaniels in New England before they traded him. But
So he knows the system. He can. He
but
knows
now
the
he's
system.
got to bring in Devontae Adams, and
Yeah.
then he's got to bring Josh Jacob, and who knows when they're going to be in there.
Josh Jacob was franchise tag.
Yeah.
This Jacoby Myers, he signed a 3-year, $33 million wide receiver.
Yes. And then, here are the top free agents still available. Orlando Brown Jr., offensive tackle who was at Kansas City. Dalton Schultz, they're saying this, the Dallas tight end. C.J. Gardner Johnson, Philadelphia Eagles. Levante David. I thought he signed today for Tampa Bay. And Jordan Porter. They signed today.
Jordan Tampa Bay?
Yeah, Levante David came back and he signed
a 1-year deal for $7 million.
Yeah, and then Jordan Porter signed back with him. And then Baker Mayfield. We didn't talk about Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield signed a 1-year deal, $8.5 million for Tampa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and then
that's not a bad sign.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad sign.
What's Sneaky Pete? Hey, Sneaky Pete, what's going on? G-Man and that.
Sneaky G, you got to get it right.
Sneaky G. Yeah, I say Sneaky G. I know he a G-Man. I know what team he root for. I know that.
He's just like a secret agent. He's really a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, right.
Sneaky G, and he's just getting all the information to make y'all believe he's a Giants fan.
Them Giants gonna run that NFC East this year. Sneak.
Oh my goodness. Let's go Cowboys. You haven't heard them say that.
Cowboys ain't gonna do that.
No,
I saw a guy. Jacoby Briscoe. He signed a 1-year deal for $10 million with the Washington Commandos.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that, but they want to see what this Sam Powell is going to do.
Okay.
He's the one who beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So, but there's some still quarterbacks out there, Gardner Minshew and Cooper Rush too. So that's an interesting position. And the Baltimore Ravens are still having issues. Obviously, we talked about it earlier with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
That's going to be something that's going to have to wait and see. In the NFC East, I don't know who's made the biggest moves. I mean, you get Darren Waller, you keep Saquon Barkley,
I think the Giants made the biggest move so far. They got a list.
You would think that, but
they got some pretty good players now.
Yeah, they got some good players, but like you said, the last 2 years, Waller's had injury issues. Saquon, you don't know when he's going to be in camp.
Yeah.
You don't know when he's going to be in camp. Daniel Jones, when you look at what he's done over his career, is it justification to give him what, $40 million?
He signed a 4-year deal for $160. Yeah, he's in the $40 million. Yeah, he's in the $40-some million man.
And now, and you look at Lamar Jackson's stats, and you're saying that he's not worth that. And then there's another one where Adam Schiffer said he wanted a fully guaranteed, and he wanted something like $240 million.
Yeah.
And he went on Twitter and said Adam Schiffer doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he said that basically that's not what he was offered, because he was saying he was offered $230 million. So he did go on there, and it's kind of unfortunate how he's being treated, because as long as he's been there, he's been that team.
Yeah.
But he has not won a Super Bowl. And I think only 1 year was he in the championship game, or he lost to Tennessee that year, if I'm correct.
Correct. Yeah.
So
it's interesting what's happening right now.
Yeah, because and we got an issue, because you got to remember, Justin Herbert will be up next year. Joe Burrows will be up. Could you imagine what they're going to get paid?
They getting paid.
Jalen Hurts is another one.
Yeah.
Or if he stays healthy, you got 4 quarterbacks. So Lamar Jackson, you better get him now because it might be a bargain.
You should. Yeah, exactly right. They might need to try to work on their contract all year.
Yeah.
What they need to do.
Because they're franchising, what is it? The franchise tag is 45, 50 million for quarterbacks. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's up there now.
Yeah. I could franchise a running back.
They ain't hard to franchise. They ain't franchising tagging no hard no quarterback. Only stupid Baltimore they're trying to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're saying there's difficulties with him because he doesn't have an agent. But here's the thing. Isn't the NFL Players Association helping him negotiate that or giving him some suggestions on the market?
Yeah, he getting full access to probably recommendation on what's best in his best interest.
I thought so.
To the PA, yeah.
Thought so. And then here's another one that scares you in Joe Barrow's situation. First of all, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase on their first contract. But I know that you've read about this and people out there don't understand what's going on. Cincinnati Bengals are trying to change the workman comp laws in Ohio so the players can't file for workman's comp.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
That's
if you working and you got you playing you employed, you always have I guess you're always confronted with being hurt and you need workman comp. It's just a state law that protect the workers.
All workers in a certain
all workers. Yeah.
And it's the only one, and the Cincinnati Bengals are trying to change that law. That's bizarre because that's going to hurt not just them. It's going to hurt the Cleveland Browns because if you're a player and you know this is going on, are you going to go to Cleveland or Cincinnati?
I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go up to Cleveland. I'm not going to that state. Yeah, because that's crazy to go and play, and then you got a chance of not getting workman comp.
Yeah, because you figure at it. I'm just using it as an example. If Jamar Hamlin was injured, which he was in Cincinnati, and he played for the Bengals or the Browns, and they took away that law, and he could never play again, he couldn't get workman's comp.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be hung out. Be hung out on the ocean, man. That's crazy.
That's pretty bad right there.
Yeah.
So those things are going on, and obviously you were in Hawaii, so you were on the beach and in Speedos and stuff while we were.
Don't be telling my secrets. You gonna have people going on my Facebook, going on my Twitter account. Don't be having people doing that.
Yeah, I know. I know you were working hard every time.
No, but
I looked at you were in a meeting.
What?
You were in a meeting every time that you.
I was in a lot of meetings. I was in a meeting from Monday all the way up to Sunday.
Yeah, you were working. It was a working vacation.
I got tons of notes. I got tons of notes of things that was said and talked about. At the end of the month, we're gonna have our chapter meeting here in Dallas. But the good thing about and this is the change. Every team now got 4 players rep.
Oh, that's great.
So in case one guy missed some, they got 4 guys. So they got the first player rep, and then they got 3 alternates.
Yeah, because they used to have only 2.
Used to have 2. So down added another 2 additional player reps. So that means that players are being more engaged, informing the teammates and things like that, which is good.
That's really good because when we had the strike, I was a player rep. So I understand. You're right.
And player reps, they get heated on talking to some of the guys, the challenge player rep, because they're thinking that you got to get this, you got to work this deal, you got to get this benefit for us, and so player reps, and usually some of them are kickers and punters, and some of them are lawyers too. Some of them be pretty well versed on what's going on. But it's really good. There was a lot of young players there for the first time. I've seen a lot of young players there, and that's a good sign of guys want to know what they need to know.
Yeah, and that is good. But back to
but we are going to get a new executive director. DeMaurice Smith was his job is up, so we're gonna have a new executive director, within the next year, 2024.
And just from former players, I think you need somebody with some legal backgrounds to take that position, because when you're dealing against the NFL owners, you better know. And Roger Goodell, you definitely need to understand the legal stuff, because they will try to shortchange you. Yeah,
you better know your stuff, period. And you got to get the right person in there to make sure that everything is moving forward. And all the hard work that didn't happen in the last 20 years, 10 to 20 years, 20 to 12 years. Since 2008, we was talking about that. Since 2008, been great progress.
Yeah. That'll help. And back to things is, I think whatever happens, you got to keep the owners more accountable, because obviously some of the Jerry Jones situation and Daniel Snyder.
Exactly.
And you got to keep them accountable too. They said that they can't oust Daniel Snyder because they don't have enough votes. He's going to have to sell the team on his terms. So
and that just goes to show you that they once you get into the system, it's hard to get out unless you want to just move on. That's
true. That is true.
Yeah.
But back to football, we leave all that stuff alone.
Let me tell you about some rules that they talked about.
Okay.
They did talk about, they call it hip shoulder block, some type of hip tackle.
Yeah, the one where
rugby. Yeah.
Remember, he broke it. That's how they broke his leg.
Yeah.
It was there.
So they wanted to see if they want to ban that type of contact or tackling, and it's only mostly linebackers are guilty of it. So, but make a long story short, they ruled they don't want that. They don't want. They already got enough. They got enough problems on the defense. I mean, defense have really been attacked in the NFL.
Oh no.
So the rule changes is one of the things that I think the players are on top of, and we know about some fields that's unsafe to play on and things like that. So it was a really good meeting. It's all about trying to get things right and make sure everybody's on the same accord.
Yeah, and then they also wanted to be able to do the umpires up in the box.
But check this out.
Fourth down.
They have a motion going to have former NFL players to be referees.
There are some that are already.
Yeah, but I'm saying they want more former NFL players to be referees, to be involved more in the game.
You got to be in good shape to be a ref.
Well, and plus the guys know, former players know all the rules too, though.
Yeah, they know the rules, but you better be in really good shape. There is one that lives here in Dallas, and I know him because he's from my hometown, Keith Jones.
Okay.
And he played for Rutgers, and he is a former NFL player, and he started in the college atmosphere, and now he's in the NFL. So there are a couple. There's not very many. And then I played with one who coaches college. I mean, not coaches. He referees college in the SEC. He could be in it. We played together in college.
Well, I thought that was really good because now you're getting more consistency with the play calling and guys making quicker decisions on the field, and we're familiar with what's going on out there. So I think it's good.
Say if you played for the New York Giants and you were refereeing a game and it was a close game. Not the Giants, because you wouldn't be able to referee that game, but the Cowboys and say the Washington. And if
I be blowing my whistle like this.
If the Cowboys win, they win the division. What's the first argument people will come with? Well, he played for the Giants.
He played for the Giants, and he ain't gonna call the game fair.
That's right.
He gonna be favoring. He gonna be calling names against the Cowboys. He gonna be calling stuff that
And the same thing if he played for the Cowboys. Jones, he can't do a Cowboy game because he played for him, which makes sense.
Yeah, I think they probably want to consider that part. I think that's a good point. I really do.
So that's the problem.
Because I'll be definitely favoring the Giants. I'll be blowing.
I know you would cheat. Just be honest. You would
holding them Cowboys.
You would cheat. You would cheat. I know that. I already know that. I was walking back to the huddle. Personal foul, walking back to the huddle.
Okay, I'll be going down the sideline. Hey, coach, throw that red flag. Throw the flag. We got him on this.
They got to review that upstairs, and you can't. You got to explain that one.
So, Jim.
Yes.
I was at FedEx this afternoon, and this guy had on this all-time fan with a star around his neck. I said, look, you a Cowboy fan? Sure is. I said, why are you a Cowboy fan? Well, be honest with you. I said, what? Be honest with me. Well, me and my granddaddy, we started watching them. I was a little old bitty boy. We started watching them Cowboys. I said, have you ever heard of a guy named Jeffcoat? Yeah, he was a first round draft choice. He was a good lineman. He used to get them interceptions and everything. I said, well, guess what? He said, what? I said, me and Jeffcoat gonna be on tonight, the J&B Talking Shop. I said, you need to get your butt home and and go in there and watch it on the J&B Talking Shop. And he said, man, I love them Cowboys. I said, well, I know you got all the dang stars and stuff around your neck. But yeah, it was fun talking to him today, though. I said, yeah.
And that was kind of funny because there was a guy that I was talking to, and he was a Giants fan.
Wow.
And he said, I asked him, did he know Byron Williams? And he said, no, I never heard of him. I said, he's the guy that used to kill the Cowboys and run fast. And he started looking, wasn't that Odell Beckham? You're a new Cowboys fan.
But you know what? It was real funny though. We was in the meeting room. We was in the meeting. We got a lot of new presidents, and I told him, I said, all you gotta do is just Google me. You'll see what I did.
I saw it. You put it up there.
They were laughing. It was funny though. It was funny. No, though, you
always talk about your speed. Tyreek Hill proved his speed. He won the 60-yard, and it wasn't even close. You talk about how fast you are.
I was pretty fast. I can say this. I was always either the fastest or the second fastest guy on every team I ever played on. From day one. Huh?
60-yard dash or 60-meter, I guess it would be now.
I tell you this. I know I ran a 10-1 300 meters.
Uh-huh.
I know my best 40 time was a 4.23. I consistently ran a 4.25. I couldn't beat Tyree. I don't think I could beat him. He was real fast. And I know I beat Darryl Green. I had 126 yards on Darryl Green.
Woo!
I had 126 yards on him.
I believe you.
My point is,
why did you get in that race?
Huh?
They were racing all those guys getting in that race. Remember they had that race?
Yeah, they had the NFL fast guy. Yeah, 4.23. Yeah. But Darryl Green probably he man, you talking about some make up speed. I know I had him beat one time. I ran a post cone on him. Man, he knocked that ball. He came out of nowhere and knocked that. I just knew I was going to catch it. But now, but the deal is too, you got guys that can run. Then you got guys that got football speed.
Football speed, I agree.
So there's a difference.
Jerry Rice had football speed.
Huh?
Jerry Rice had football speed.
Jerry Rice is the best football speed guy you ever want to see for his running routes. He's smooth in and out of breaks. And some guys just didn't have that, that turn and that angle.
I would agree.
I call it COD, change of direction. Jerry Rice could change like that. I mean, he'd be,
I would agree. Then there's a difference.
Yeah.
It's even in every position you'll see guys, just like we're seeing these guys at the combine, which ended a couple weeks ago. They look good in the shorts, but when they put on all the pads, they don't move like that.
It's two different concepts. Some guys can run the shorts, but some guys, once they put the helmet on, the shoulder pads on, it's a whole different case scenario.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what always scares me, for people falling in love with guys that, like this quarterback that's for Florida,
Richardson.
I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. But they talk about he's just phenomenal. He didn't win.
Well, he kind of like Jordan Love and those guys too. He had good college, but he didn't play a lot.
Good college career. He only started 1 year, and
what I'm saying, he didn't play a lot. So yeah, you absolutely right.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
So I'd be scared of a guy like that, because you're going off physical abilities. But as you know, and I know, quarterback is not always about who has the best arm, who looks the prettiest in shorts. And they talk about Bryce Young with his height and his his weight and everything. But Bryce Young performed well.
Yeah.
And he was at one of the top, obviously, colleges in Alabama. And when you see him play, he played a lot bigger than his dimensions.
Kind of like Bennett too for Georgia. I mean, they got question marks on him. Can he play at the next level?
Yeah, and there's some of them are legitimate. But to me, the top two quarterbacks are the player from
CJ Strauss
and Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I'm scared to death of Levin from Kentucky, because he's very inconsistent.
He kind of reminds me of Daniel Jones coming out of college.
You think so? See, not to me, because I thought Daniel Jones was good. He played a lot.
He was lower rated to me a little bit out of college.
You think so?
In my opinion.
I can't say that, because he performed at a tough school to win, and he won.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones. It's not like some of these schools, but when you win at Duke, you got to be pretty darn good.
Yeah,
And he's got highly intelligent.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Richardson is not highly intelligent. What I'm saying is,
but he's young. He's still young. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you remember the Raiders took the quarterback a couple years ago, and he turned out to be terrible.
From LSU?
Yes.
Yeah.
That scares me when you do that.
He was big and tall and had all the size and everything. He had good arm strength and all that.
Yeah.
But
so that's the things you get concerned about with them.
But you know what? It's always gonna be a bust or two here and there with these draft choices.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. But before, I got to talk to you about this, some serious stuff. The NCAA March Madness is starting. It's starting tomorrow. The NCAA.
You don't know nothing about no follow through.
You see that? That's definitely it. I was
watching in slow motion. You don't know nothing about no follow through.
Oh shoot! I'm coming. You see this? Over you. I'm watching Fairleigh Dickinson University out in New Jersey.
Hackensack, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
You don't know about no Hackensack.
Against Texas Southern, and it is ugly. Trust me.
Yeah.
The other day, they playing that ball up there. They playing that Jersey ball. So I feel sorry because Texas Southern wasn't worried. They didn't know what they were getting themselves into.
Yeah.
And it's Fairleigh Dickinson is winning 82-57.
It's on right now?
Yes. And the next game is Arizona State against Nevada. So.
You think Arizona State gonna do something?
No, they're gonna win this game, and then they done. Just like I tell you what, it was interesting about Fairleigh Dickinson is they're playing like a hockey team, And by that I mean they substitute 5 players. They go when they bring in players, they don't bring in 1, they bring in 5.
You want to know something? You want to know something really, really funny?
What?
When I was with the Giants, I did my degree completion program at Dixon University.
Yeah. And they're playing 5 out.
Great.
And that's what's going to kill them against Purdue.
Yeah.
Is because you got that big guy in the middle, Zach Edey.
Yeah.
He's 7'4". They can't play 5 out. And they don't have anybody because they're all, I think the tallest guy was 6'4" or 6'5".
Yeah,
So
Fairleigh Dickinson, man, 82-59. They beating the crap out of Texas Southern.
Yeah, they're showing what that East Coast ball is like. I know. I've been there. I lived it.
Guys up there, they go sleep with their basketball in their crib. So I'm telling you, them boys can dribble them balls and they can shoot the hoops. They can shoot the hoops.
They love basketball up there. But you can say the same thing about Texas because the University of Houston is the number 2 seed overall in the whole thing. They're number 1, but they're number 2.
And one of the things that I have to look at too, if you do your research, you better look at them coaches. Now, the University of Houston coach ain't no joke.
No, Calvin Sampson's been around too.
He's been around. Absolutely.
But 2 things happened. He had a twin sister who just passed last week, and the number 1 player for Marcus Sasser hurt his groin and did not play in there. That's where they lost to Memphis, which I can't understand why Memphis is a number 8.
Let me tell you a little secret about Sasser.
Yeah.
His whole family is from East Texas.
Oh, God.
So you talk about a talented athlete. The Sassers been playing basketball in this state for a long time.
I know. Oh, boy, here we go. But, no, they got to find out if he's going to play. I tell you, the team to watch out for in the NCAA is Texas.
Texas is the team. Alabama is the team.
But I think Alabama is the SEC, other than Kentucky, hasn't been dominant in the NCAAs. They always get shocked. Tell you a team that's going to get – they won't lose the first round, but they won't make it past they won't make it past the 3rd round is Purdue.
Purdue got a monster in the middle.
Yeah, but teams are going to be able to take advantage. Good shooting teams are going to kill them.
Yeah.
Another team, Kansas is always
Kansas is going to be tough.
Kansas is going to be tough. Iowa State, and I've been looking at all this stuff because I do the brackets with my kids. We have a challenge, but I tell you, Gonzaga people. They
got a great coach.
And Creighton, it always makes a little bit of noise.
What do you think about Arizona?
I'm not impressed with Arizona. They beat UCLA to win the Pac-12, but I'm not really impressed with any Pac-12.
They're number 2 seed, so they're number 2 seed.
Yeah, number 1 is UCLA, right?
Yeah.
And I think both of those teams have holes. And when they get in there and some of these physical teams, I think the Big 12 was very physical this year. I think Alabama is going to get exposed because they didn't play the tough guys. I think the Big 10 is a little bit overrated this year. And it's going to be interesting because it's going to be some team that we don't expect.
You got Xavier, you got Baylor.
Xavier is pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, Tennessee ain't bad.
No, they're pretty good. Auburn's pretty good.
But UCLA is a number 2 seed. They're number 2 seed.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I love this time of year. I love to watch these games. I get excited and watch some of these players play because you see.
I heard Coors Light was making some type of ice cream float or something for the drink. It's gonna be a special drink for the
Final Four,
the Madness weekend.
March Madness.
Yeah, March Madness. Yeah.
So in basketball is nice this time of year because everybody's jockeying in the NBA. You look at the teams that are starting to move.
Yeah.
And you look at it, Denver has been the top team in the West, but now they're on a 3-game losing streak. Milwaukee.
Denver is on a 4-game
losing streak.
Yeah.
So, you see teams starting, the Lakers are starting to move, but I tell you the scariest team is
Sacramento.
Sac is good, but Warriors are scary.
Oh, yeah.
It's Steph Curry and
Steph Curry was hitting so many shots the other night.
I know.
He was hitting from every time he touched the ball, he let it go.
Yeah. And they know how to win championships. But Sacramento,
they've been there and done that.
DeAndre Fox he's a player.
Yeah.
He's a player.
Yeah.
And they're making a move now, and they're starting to play well. And over there, and on the East, you got 3 teams. You got Milwaukee, but Giannis is not 100%.
Milwaukee, Philly,
and
Boston.
Philly. Yeah. Those 3 teams. And the Knicks are playing well. But
the Knicks, they're hard to beat.
But it's Brunson. They go as far as Brunson and his health.
Yeah.
I would get him 100% before I would say they're going to be a contender.
So 82 games in the NBA, and somebody called me today and asked me what I think about the NFL trying to have 18 games.
Ooh,
that's a long season in football.
Let me ask you this question, and you obviously, like me, played, and you were relatively healthy for the most of your career. Do you think, because of the way sports are today, and when kids start, do you think they get overtrained and overused? By that I mean that some of these kids are training since they've been 6 years old. They never got a chance to let their bodies recover.
That's absolutely true. I think you have to have a recovery time frame. You have to let the body heal, the recovery, restore. Everything needs to be restored. You can't run a horse from here to 10 miles and expecting to come back another 10 miles.
Yeah.
You have to rest them.
Yeah, and that's why now you're seeing this load management stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I think happens because you overtrain. And then
Right.
We had my son Jackson on there, and I was telling him he's 32 now, and I said, you can't train like you're 22.
No.
You got to make sure that you're doing the things to make sure you have recovery is the most important thing. And whoever's training you.
And I think sleep is another factor. You have to get some sleep. You got to let the body, reserve, restore, and be functional when you get up the next day.
Yeah, and I know these things because, you don't keep this kind of body when you don't do the right things.
What you weigh, 280? No, for real though, check this out. I swear, I was some of those guys I was at the meeting, right? They said, "What team you play for?" No, for real, they thought I was about 40 years old. I said, "No."
I would have thought if I didn't know you, I would have thought you were about 35, 36.
Now, for real though, I told him, I said, I played at 185. I'm between 195 and 197 right now. I've never been over 202 in my life.
That's good.
And I just keep track of my weight. I'm real cautious of how much I weigh. And nothing on nobody. I ain't trying to, I'm not trying to call nobody out, but it's just been one of those things with me that I just been on top of.
And the same thing. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go do some workouts. So I understand what you're saying. And some person told me I'm an oak tree. That's what they call me, oak tree.
But that the things that you can control, I always tell young kids, try to control those things.
Yeah.
If you hang out with bad people, you're gonna get bad results. So
that's right. I agree with you. There's a documentary on LeBron James, and you can see what you just said. He picked the right people to be around him, even in high school, even in the NBA. And you can say what you want, but he didn't come from the best situation, but he utilized the situation to push him and to make him who he is today.
Right.
But then it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and you know that's one of the key ingredients to living. I think you have to, you have to get yourself around something that's gonna elevate you. I put a note out this week. I talked about the mountaintop experience. I took a shot of the mountains while I was in Hawaii, and I was just saying, if I could ever get on that mountaintop, then I could really see I could see something that hardly ever people call ever see, because going up that mountain is rough and it's tough. But you had new heights. So when you get up to that height, and your mind becomes clearer, things become wide, you become wiser. But your experience in your walking life is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's a good point you make, because mile high over there, and we were walking up a mountain. Hiking up a mountain called Mount Anita, and it's in Boulder, Colorado. But It's interesting. It's only a mile and a half up, but the altitude goes up, and you can hardly breathe. And we're pushing. Everybody made it up, and you look down, and you see a mile down, and you're already at altitude, and you can't believe it. But your mind tells you ain't gonna do it, but your will tells you can do it. Just like you said, you look like if I can accomplish this, accomplish anything. And we won the Pac-12 South that year, because that made us believe we could accomplish things. Yeah,
and I think when you challenge yourself and you can go beyond expectation.
Exactly.
That's when you see a whole new outlook.
I agree 100%.
It's just like wiping off them glasses that have been dirty, and you said, "Man, I can see clearly now."
Yeah, and a lot of players in professional sports, and even in college sports, they had to overcome something in their lifetime to get to the certain positions that they are. You don't just walk in there, and I seldom see players who can walk in there and not work at it and become good. They have great athletic, and you saw it just like I did. There were some guys with great athletic ability, but they didn't have the mindset to get it done.
Yeah.
You see some guys with average athleticism, and they get things done.
And when you get to talking to various people, like the Uber driver, I talk to everybody. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna talk. So I talked to the Uber driver. I said, "Man, did you ever play football?" "Oh yeah, I was a pretty good lineman." Then he said, "I hurt my knee." I said, "Well, after you hurt your knee, what you didn't want to play no more?" He said, "I just never did get back up." I said, "Well, that's the deal, man. You got to keep getting up. When you get down, or when you have an injury, or when you get tested, when that one chapter ends, it's another chapter, right? You got to dig."
Yeah, I had one of my the guys I work with. This is hilarious to me. He was talking about he played up in Nebraska. He played football up there, but he never played. And he said, "I said, well, that must have been tough." He said, "No." He said, "I still looked at the cheerleaders and the girls." And he said, "What I would do is run and get my jersey all dirty, so they thought I played the whole game." And he never got off the bench. I'm like, why did you just prepare yourself to go out there and play? He was so proud of himself.
But he would get his jersey dirty though, right?
Yeah, so he could look like he had played the whole game, got his jersey dirty.
And that's why I tell kids, sometimes you got to make sure you're getting a recommendation and opinion from the right person that's been there. Right. If you get an opinion from a player, a guy that never played, his suit was clean and white, and he talking about he did this and that, don't believe the hype.
No, they haven't been through the grind. Especially here in Texas, and even in when we did that camp in East Texas, this was over 100 degrees.
Absolutely. And you can't get your information from the wrong person.
You're right.
That's why I love coaches, though. Most coaches usually gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah.
About what you need to do. They're gonna tell you how you need to increase your skill set and blah blah blah, right? So you get around the right coaches, you can go a long way in life.
Well, and if you're a good parent, then you're going to tell the truth. Because I tell my kids all the time, I'm not going to be your hype man. I'm going to tell you the truth. And sometimes it's going to be positive. My mother was the greatest person at that. Because everybody else could tell me something, but she brought me back to her. Well, you're not doing this, because she knew football. Well, why that boy beating you up? I'm like, dang, Mom, he not beat me up. Yes, he is. He's winning. You're losing. I don't.
And that's good that you talk about your dad and your mom, man, because I'm telling you, they put everything in proper perspective for you.
That's right.
I mean, my dad used to tell me sometimes that, we finna go paint this house, boy. Yeah. And you better get your butt up at 6, not 7.
No, yeah, you better be there ready.
But see, the difference between me and my baby brother, he wouldn't get up. And you know what? The results in life show that he didn't get up. He still don't get up.
But I was up and ready before they got up, because that's what I was trained.
But you know what, Jim? When you get up at 4 o'clock and you train right now, and you're working out. And then last week when I heard Jackson said about how hard you worked and you was a great example for them and the siblings, your kids, that matters, man. I'm telling you, that matters. That speaks volume from top to bottom. Huh?
I had the example in my dad, because he never complained. He never took days off. And he wasn't making a lot of money, but he knew that it was necessary to get these things done. And that's just how I was. And that's how I learned it. My mother was the same way. I mean, she worked all day, but dinner was always on the table when we got
always
home.
on the table.
I mean, that's how you look at life.
You know what I loved about too growing up? See, like you can go in the refrigerator, you don't have to sit on food in the cabinet. Next thing you know, you got a full course meal. I don't know what mama we got them groceries.
How did they do that? I never know. It was magic.
They'll go out to the garden. The one thing I used to do, I just go and get in the hen house and get the eggs and stuff. And you can make all kind of omelets and stuff. You make all kind of food. But man, those potatoes, they be hid up under the ground, stuff like that. But say, man, I'm telling you, back in the day, man, we never did miss a meal.
Yeah. Our man is here today.
Hey, Jay. I've been warming up for you, bro.
Oh, Jason's gonna be at the golf. He's bringing his father with him.
April the 3rd, April 3rd, right?
Yeah, April 3rd. Jason will be there. I'm gonna put you and Jason on the same team. Jason's big hitter now. Jason's a big hitter.
You're gonna be using my ball a lot, bro.
Oh, Jason missed all that. The Vikings have made some good moves.
They have. They really have.
They lost Patrick Peterson to Pittsburgh. So
yeah, he did. I'm gonna say, Jason, every time I hit my ball, I'm gonna say Justin Jefferson.
You gonna hit it again and say, why'd y'all lose Adam Thielen?
Look at that form, Jay.
Ooh. I come home, I got me a hit in the pad. I've been working on it.
Hey, I forgot to tell you, Demetrius Evans told me he want to play, so he's on the list.
Okay, I like D.
Yeah, he
can't play, but
he just texted me right before the show and said, make sure you tell Jim that I'm playing. I said, boy, I got you.
Okay, yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
he's good. But we're getting at the end of the show. We got about a minute and 15, but it's good to have Jason back. Jason, I did get your invitation. I haven't been to the mailbox yet, but Jason's getting married.
Hey, congratulations, Jason.
Jason, he's going to be a good husband. And he's got a wonderful woman that he's marrying, and I'm happy for him. So,
hey, that's what it's all about, man. You got to have that better half.
Yes. Yeah, no question.
Just give her the keys in your wallet.
And always said yes, I agree.
Don't do this.
It'll be fine. If you do that, it's over.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, them good notes, man. Take them notes down.
Yeah, make sure you get them, Jason. Yeah.
We love you, Jay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, bro. Congratulations.
Yeah. So that's it tonight. That's it. Had a great show. I got some good stuff in, and we'll be back next week.
Hey, let's go. NFL is happening. NBA is happening. And March Madness is happening.
Hey, guys, have a good rest of the week. It's hump day. Peace.
See ya.
All right.